Did you know that you are blocking what you want by wanting it so much? In this video, I'm going to help you see the real reasons within you for why some things are slow or stuck in your life, why you might have a boom and bust cycle, why some people might not show up for you how you want them to, and even why you have some specific chronic physical pain that's trying to send you a message. So make sure you save this now and give me a like and a follow if you feel so called to. Now, I'm Kai Clifford, your spiritual guide and energy alchemist, and here's the deal. So many of my clients have no idea just how much their childhood was affecting them, their identity was affecting them, and they will say to me at the end of sessions exactly that. After we go in to the feelings that they have in the body, work with their subconscious mind, they're shocked at exactly what they find in there, because your pain, your emotions, your memories will actually speak with you when you know how to listen to them. And now I've been on this journey for a long time because I used to have PTSD, I used to have chronic health issues, I used to have chronic anxiety and a lot of mental health issues from having a lot of trauma and misunderstanding growing up. So I had to go on a personal journey to really find myself, and I wasn't the person that you see sitting here today. Like, there's no way that I could have ever done a video like this. I wouldn't have sounded like this. I wouldn't have been as comfortable in my skin as I am today. It took me a long time to get here. And in that process of getting here to where I am now, which is, you know, confident and able to show up in my business and just coming from a really good space, I had to get to know myself. I had to get to know my true motivations of why I really think how I think. And this is what I teach my clients and what I'm here to teach you today. So your unconscious mind, they could be conscious thoughts, but they're things that you sort of think. You may, even if we were to do a session together or you do some sort of inner work that really works, you look at it and you go, well, I knew that I thought this, sort of, but I didn't really realize that I thought this. There's so many things that we're thinking underneath the surface that we turn away from because we don't like it about ourselves, we don't want it to be true, we just want to be positive. But turning away from it doesn't negate it. Turning away from it doesn't make it disappear. And this is why the whole positive thinking crowd has gone toxic, because you're so scared of having a negative thought. You think you're creating it by just having one negative thought. But guess what? Reality has a lag time, my dear. So when you allow yourself to look at your negative thoughts in conscious time, not like necessarily all throughout the day, but especially in conscious healing time, you look at yourself and go, oh, why do I really think this? Why do I really believe this? You talk to these parts of yourself. Well, then you have the ability to change them, to change your mind, because all these parts of you that you feel are out of your control, these parts that go into the cycles and the bad habits and the resistance and the sabotage and the forcing and whatever else it is for you, it all has an opinion and a message, and it's an actual personality with the ability to think just like you're thinking. So when you learn how to connect with these parts of you and reason with them, guess what? They can change their mind. But this is why learning the spiritual law is so absolutely essential. And today we're going to talk a bit about one of the lectures of the Pathwork journey from the Pathwork Guide, which is a divinely channeled spirit back from the 1950s to 70s, sort of like what Abraham Hicks is meant to be. And also, obviously, Abraham Hicks does have a lot of truth in it, but there's also a lot of untruth about the processes for how the human mind works. It often doesn't actually work, especially when you have trauma and things like that. It can actually send you destitute if you just ignore it, and don't quite understand that you have to dip into the negative emotions. These lectures are so profound. They are the greatest spiritual teaching I've come across. And while they're non-religious and non-dogmatic, they are still biblically sound. So from this lecture number 77, because there's 258 lectures, this is called Self-Confidence, Its True Origin and What Prohibits It. So for me, I've actually been going through this lecture today and finding the part of me that blocks myself from getting what I want. And would you believe that it's a part of me that is so hell-bent on needing to have what I want right now? Otherwise, I chuck a complete stop. Now, I was able to trace this back to my childhood for where I felt neglected, ignored, misunderstood. My parents, they were teenage parents, and, you know, addicts, and bless them, but it wasn't easy growing up, you know, up to about 3 years old in that house where it was quite chaotic and didn't feel safe, and I was pretty much ignored as a child because they had their own demons, their own things going on. So I understand that. I'm not trying to demonize anyone. It just is what it is. We're all on our human journey. But for me as a child, I was able to go in and find the decisions that I made as a child where I felt so ignored and like I never got what I wanted, that I turned to addiction like sugar and TV, and it evolved into other things growing up. But especially as that young child, I made the decision in my child's mind that, well, I'm going to have to look after my own needs, and I need this right now because of the level of distress I was in. So if we were to work together, I could help you find your specific decisions that you made, maybe even as a baby, as a child, that are still with you to this day, causing your negative cycles, and then we will energetically change them and literally change your personality. So we release the parts of you that aren't your real self, and we tap you into your true, authentic, loving self. Now, when we forcefully think that we need to get what we want right now, otherwise we feel ultimately unhappy. It almost feels like an annihilation. We cannot handle the frustration at all. Then this creates this forcing current. And that's where I find like that pain can turn up in your teeth, in your mouth. It can turn up all throughout your body. But once we talk to it, then you'll know exactly what pain has what message for you. Now, on the flip side, while we believe that we must have what we want because of all the disappointment that we've been through, you also believe, a part of you believes, maybe not all of you, but there's a part of you deep inside, like all humans, that would believe that you cannot get what you want. And then this causes a submissiveness to life, a passiveness, a defeat, a despondency, disappointment. So if you feel like you secretly have disappointment, self-pity inside, which a lot of people, we don't really call it feeling sorry for ourselves, but you'll find that if you have like this emotion that finds it hard to do things sometimes, then that is self-sorriness. And because we feel like it is impossible to ultimately get what we want, this passiveness causes our boom and bust, our sabotage, our resistances, our withdrawals. Now, then on top of that, we have two different ways that we relate to people. So one way is a people-pleasing, submissive way. I'll do what you want to please you way. And you might think it's because you're being nice and loving, but it's actually not. It is a manipulative selfishness, hoping that if you just give them what they want, then you'll get what you want from them, the specific love you want from them, the things you want them to do. That if they see just how much you're bending to their will, then they'll, out of their own goodness of their heart, they'll give you what you want. Now, you may not know this consciously, but this is why we have to do this inner work, because every people pleaser has this. It's like this force where you actually want them to do what you want, to give you the love that you want in the way that you want it. But because you have that submissive fear of not getting what you want, you have to bow down and do it in a way that doesn't feel right for you. Because if you didn't have this issue, you wouldn't always people please. You would know that it's safe for them to get triggered sometimes. You know it's safe for them to sometimes have problems. And if it doesn't feel right for you, if it drains you and it frustrates you and leaves you feeling resentful, well, then you'll know that that is that people-pleasing energy, because you feel resentful thinking, well, I did this for them, and thinking that they should give things back to you, that they take your giving at face value, that you genuinely want to give it, not that underneath the scenes you're doing it as a secret negotiation. It's okay to negotiate, and I'll say, I'm doing this for you, you give me that, but it has to be an upfront negotiation. So check yourself, find the parts of yourself that leave you feeling resentful when you do things for people, that leave you feeling depleted and drained, leads to frustration and resentment. Well, these are the parts of you that are secretly hoping to get something from someone because of what you do. And unless you're able to give it as an actual gift, you need to be upfront and negotiate it. And it will feel so much better, but it can be a practice. It can be scary to speak up. You might have been taught or shown growing up that saying no can be dangerous or makes you a bad person or makes people unhappy with you. All those sorts of things. Now, then the other thing that we do is it's so easy for some people, or maybe certain parts of your personality, to go into an aggressiveness and hostility, uncaringness around other people, where you can't help but feel hostile and hateful towards them. And this is like a protection mechanism, thinking that if you just act like this towards them, then you won't have to give more than you have to give. But the truth is, the spirit of living is giving. So when it comes to this part of the personality, it's a good place to start that part that's sort of hateful, is to acknowledge it. Really don't run away from it, and start giving it love and compassion as it feels this way. Give it understanding. Talk to it. Literally talk, but listen. Now, this is where I come in. If you want one-to-one help, I can expertly help you do this. I've been doing this for 14 years, 12 years professionally, and the first 2 years learning through my own, healing my own anxiety and PTSD and lung issues and chronic pain issues. I gave away like dozens and dozens of sessions to people that were life-changing in the first 2 years, and then I've been doing it professionally for 12 years and have developed upon and continually am learning and upgrading my skills and my integrity and my ability to show up and my ability to release the frustration of not always getting what I want in the moment, which has actually helped me grow in my business and show up more of the time. So what have your highlights been from this? What can you take away from this that you can walk through your day with, stay mindful of? Let me know in the comments what your ahas and takeaways are. Any part here that's challenging to you, that you don't agree with, or you have any questions of, put them in the comments right now. I want to have a conversation with you about this and help you grow in your life. Now, if you want one-to-one help, message me. If you want to try my free tapping on YouTube, go over there. And actually, go to YouTube, because I'm going to read this lecture from the Pathwork as a sort of audiobook. This lecture on true self-confidence and everything I just talked here, this profound spiritual teaching. Right now, I'm about to go and read it, on YouTube. So you'll be able to go on YouTube and find it. Kai Clifford Energy Alchemist is my name over there. And yeah, just type in Kai Clifford Energy Alchemist Pathwork Confidence Lecture and you'll find it. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.